Shall we?
We start, Dipti?
Yes, I'm starting. A very good afternoon and warm welcome to all of you. I'm CA Dipti Jain from GyaanStation, welcomes you in today's webinar. It's very well said that alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. Alone I can go fast, together we can go far. So, with a vision to provide consistent knowledge, learning, upgradation, and unstoppable knowledge webinars throughout the year, 6 organizations have joined hands together to serve professionals from diverse fields like chartered accountants, advocates, cost accountants, company secretaries, HR professionals, financial advisors, and many more. We are elated to mention that GyaanStation is conducting this webinar jointly with Income Tax Bar Association Ahmedabad, All Gujarat Federation of Tax Consultants, Gujarat State Tax Bar Association, Tax Advocate Association of Gujarat, and eMSME platform. Here, I take the privilege to recognize the presence of our distinguished guest on the panel. Our chief guest for today's session, CA Nilesh Vikamse sir, the past president of ICAI, CA Durgesh Kabra sir, the Central Council member of ICAI and the chairman of CFIMP committee of ICAI, our today's eminent speaker, CA Yagnesh Desai ji from Mumbai, and the presidents and managing committee members of all the partner organizations and dear participants. We conduct a weekly webinar with an object to update and brush up the knowledge of our professional brothers and sisters. In this busy life, we hardly find time to update ourselves. So weekly 1.5 hour at KBS, that is Knowledge Booster Sessions, will act as a confidence booster in your day-to-day professional routine, which in turn help you to deal with your client's requirement in an innovative way. We can proudly say that it's the 4th year of our EdTech platform, and I have also received the award for our educational courses at Bombay Stock Exchange as a Woman Power in EdTech, and have conducted more than 300 webinars in last 4 years. With these words, I request the immediate past president of Income Tax Bar Association Ahmedabad, CA Ashish Tikwani ji, to welcome all our guests and participants. Over to you, Ashish ji.
It is great pleasure on behalf of Income Tax Bar Association, All Gujarat Federation of Tax Consultants, Tax Advocate Association Gujarat, and Gujarat State Tax Bar Association to welcome CA Yagnesh Desai sir for a very important topic which is concerning all of us in the professionals, because it is very important what precautions should be taken during the time of audit. It is a great pleasure that such stalwarts like CA Nilesh sir and CA Durgesh sir have agreed to be part of this webinar and give their inputs on the topic. Thank you so much. It is said that sharing knowledge is the most fundamental act of friendship, because it is a way that you can give something without losing something. So Dipti ji, you have been following this philosophy to the core and working very hard selflessly for sharing knowledge. It is my pleasure to introduce CA Nilesh Vikamse, past president of ICI. He is senior partner at KKC and Associates LLP. The firm he is representing is practicing since 1936 and having over 86 years of experience in areas of auditing, taxation, and all other allied services. He has been president of ICI for the year 2017-18, and has been and is also chairman, vice chairman of various committees at ICI, SEBI, RBI, IRDA, and other organizations. Sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ashish, for the kind introduction, and thank you, Deepti, for inviting me to speak, to share my views on this very important topic. And I thank ITBA, AGTBC, and various other organizations who are involved in this particular, organizing this event. So as Ashish mentioned, it requires efforts to do this knowledge sharing. And as they say, knowledge sharing increases our own knowledge. And from that perspective, I have joined this session. My knowledge also will increase. Having said that, today's topic for discussion is precaution to be taken by small and medium practicing firms while conducting statutory audit. And we've got an excellent speaker, Yagnesh Bhai, with us. I've known Yagnesh Bhai for many decades. A very, I would say, fiery orator. Very, especially if you see him live, it would be much different than I would say seeing on screen. I wish this was a physical program. All of us would have, enjoyed Yagnesh Bhai's oratory. We also have our very dear Central Council member Durgesh Kabraji, who has also done tremendous work in this area under the auspices of Center of Audit Quality and many other initiatives which Institute is taking, which I will brief one, and maybe other Durgesh himself can brief what is happening as far as this particular area is concerned. Friends, the technical side, Yagnesh Bhai is going to speak on, so I don't want to steal the thunder from him or duplicate the words. The only thing which I want to share with you is, having been past president of the Institute of Charters, and I have been part of the disciplinary committees, I have been part of interactions with various regulators. And what has happened, friends, is chartered accountant is basically identified with audit. I think when the act was formed, when the act was made in 1949, or the whole idea of a chartered accountant is accountant, a chartered accountant is mainly for audit. Over the period of a journey of the last 75 years, we ventured into income tax, indirect taxes, initially sales tax, then VAT, then now GST, and so on and so forth, finance, project finance, and a lot of other consulting areas we have gone into. But audit is the core, I think, which we need to be doing. And here there are two things. I think, again, when I see the profession, I've seen it from a very, very macro view. And as a practitioner, I've seen it from a micro view. Generally, I've seen people predominantly looking at the client interest. So that is fine as far as income tax is concerned, indirect tax is concerned, etc. But today the time has come, and especially in audit, there's a huge public interest involved. What you sign, I think, is it what you're signing is proper or not? When I say proper, if it is a financial statement, is it true and fair? If it is a certificate, whether it's true and correct, because certification is correctness, not fairness. So I think that is very critical to see, because somewhere I think what has happened is, over a period of time, thanks to some major accidents which we have seen in our profession. When I say in our profession, whether it's a Satyam, whether it's an ILFS, DHFL, and the works, I think the credibility has gone down of the profession, and amongst our own members, I don't know, I want to share very candidly. So you'd be feeling that is the larger entities. What has it to do with small and medium practicing for small and medium company audits? Friends, it's absolutely to do with small and medium company audits also, and small and medium firms also, because this impression is not only for the larger entities or larger firms. In the district committee, we have got cases, and I just want to warn you. Say you may say I'm doing a small partnership company, firm, or a private company, or a proprietorship company, or a cooperative society, or a club, or a trust audit. Usme kya bada baat hai? The challenge is the fact, I think I've seen many of the cases where the financial statements are not properly drawn up. When I say not properly drawn up, the accounting policies are not properly written, the disclosures, etc. Leave apart compliance with standards of auditing, which doesn't come to the I would say the regulator as of now. This I'm seeing from a district committee. What happens is the two partners fight, or two, say, husband and wife fight, or in the private company shareholders fight, or in a club two groups fight. In a trust also there's group, cooperative society groups. The first thing they do is file a complaint as a chartered accountant, and they send the financial statement. This is wrong, that is wrong, whatever. And when we look at the financial, what we observe is many times the partners, the husband, wife, the shareholders, the various groups interest, they may settle their dispute, but the issued complaint cannot be withdrawn. And when we see that, the issue which those partners have raised or may not be relevant at all from a professional perspective. There may be an internal dispute. But when the financial statements come to the institute and they observe that, when we see that in the district committee or in the other forums, I think we find a lot of gaps. Accounting, as I mentioned, to accounting policies, disclosures, so on and so forth, compliance with accounting standards, there are challenges. So I would very earnestly request you, I think here we have predominantly a group of small and medium firms. don't take audit lightly. Especially appreciate we have got tremendous pressure. We have deadlines of GST, we have got TDS, but there is no reason not to focus on, I would say, the statutory audit. It has to be done properly. Please take help. Assuming you don't have enough expertise, exposure, or people, have good benchmark, statements in front of you by way of policies, etc. So that is one. Friends, it's not only the institute. Even today, the registrar of companies has started looking at the financial statement and started issuing penalty notices, etc. for private companies also. Same way, income tax, when they review the tax audit, so the GST authorities, when they review the accounts, or the bank audit, when the bank audits, branch audits go to the banks, or the concurrent audits, so where any other regulatory audit, please, if you are accepting any audit, doing any audit, please have proper attention. Please give quality output there of concern. Otherwise, I think not only you will have a challenge, but again, the whole profession is, sort of looked down upon by any. See, one person, Nilesh makes a mistake, everybody is, sort of, for anybody of us makes a mistake. It is not limited to that person. Unfortunately, the expectation is एक जन ने गलती किया तो सब लोग का नाम खराब होता है. So I think that's what I think we need to do. So that is as far as the private companies and the smaller entities are concerned. By chance, the focus of this session is on small and medium practicing firms. By any reason, if you are doing any listed company, then I think your responsibility has gone up substantially. You cannot have an excuse that I don't have people, etc. And I'll tell you what has happened. I used to joke 6 years back that the large firms, which we call the big four, spend 90% time documentation, 10% doing the audit. Mid-sized firms, I said 60 to 80% time audit and maybe 20 to 40% time documentation. And small firms, 20% or document, 80% time audit, 20% time documentation of writing. But after the NFRA orders which have come, the inspection orders, forget the orders in the case of the problem cases like ILFS, Cafe Coffee Day, but even normal inspections of the large firms, the NFRA has found gaps, and gaps especially in the standards of auditing. Friends, I don't know how many of us in this audience are doing compliance of standards of auditing. See, what has happened is I've seen people have started disclosing the accounting policies, and it is some compliance with the accounting standards. But auditing standard, my experience has been a very, very low compliance. The auditing standard ka session bhi rakho institute mein, so hardly any people attend. So my earnest request would be, please, if you're doing any listed company, please look at the auditing standard compliance, and also you need to have a engagement quality control reviewer and a lot of other things. So whatever it takes, whatever is mentioned, please have that. Otherwise, be careful. Today, what has happened is, year before last, the NFRA inspected 5 large firms. Last year, they inspected 8 firms. This year, the target is 12. But gradually, they'll start coming down. And if you're not geared up by that time, you'll have a problem. Let me tell you. And you're seeing the penalties right now. Of course, those penalties are for gross cases like Cafe Coffee Day. 10 crore penalty for to the BSR. And maybe the smaller firms holding subsidiaries, they had 1 crore penalty, and each partner was penalized 10 lakh rupees. So roughly about 1.5 crore to 1.78 crore, 1.75 crore penalties. To small firms, the fees would be 5 lakh, 10 lakh. I don't know what are the fees in those particular companies. So please be very careful. Please don't take it for granted that the fact you're doing a statutory audit. Please don't have so much of, I would say, faith on your customers or your clients that you accept anything and that nothing will happen. So the same clients will file a complaint against you if they ever fight. So don't be so much, trusting or relying. I'm not saying distrust them, but अपना काम ठीक से करो. बाकी matters पे trust करो. But audit के काम में कोई भी shortcut या कोई भी don't do any, cutting the corners anywhere. But lastly, I would just want to, give a very good sort of feedback. Durgesh Bhai was chairman of the Center of Audit Quality, founder chairman, if I can say so, under ICI. At that time, they brought up this audit quality maturity medal. And since we're talking on the audit subject, I would request all of you to benchmark yourself based on that. And I'll tell you as a firm, see, we are an 88-year-old firm and we do substantial, audits. We found that on certain HR matters, we also needed to scale up based on so that helped us improve our, certain areas we are reasonably okay, certain areas we are not. But the moment you start benchmarking yourself against the AQMM, you'll know, yahan pe gap hai, apne as a firm, you need to work on that. So fantastic job done by, Durgesh Bhai at that AQM, plus a lot of other things they've done, which I'll leave him to speak. The AQM version 2 also has come out recently. Have a look at that also. I think they have reduced the focus on HR, but I would recommend still go back to the first AQM 1. Have a look. That will be the real base. So they've diluted the HR part. They've increased the practicing part over there. So that's what I wanted to share with you. Thanks, Deepti. Thank you, Durgesh Bhai and Rajnesh Bhai for this time. And I hope if some of the matters I discussed helps any of the participating audience, will be great. Thank you.
And thank you, sir, for such an insightful speech. And you really shared a lot of knowledge with us, the practical aspects which are faced by all the members who are doing this audit. So, and thank you for giving your valuable time here. It's been long. We want you to be here and want that your knowledge should come and your knowledge should get shared with all our participants. Thank you so much. And now I here take the privilege to introduce our guest of honor, dear Durgesh sir. Durgesh sir is a very senior member and having extensive experience of more than 30 years in company law, corporate structuring and management advisory, audit assurance services. He had been avid speaker and expert in law and bankruptcy code, and he had addressed more than 250 seminars, forums, and conferences on company law, LLP, IBC. And his presence at ICI, he had done remarkable work at ICI. Currently, he is the Central Council member of ICI and heading as the chairman of the Committee on Financial Markets and Investor Protection and vice chairman of Insolvency and Valuation Standards Board and chairman of the Committee for Members in Industry and Business in the year 23-24. He had served various committees throughout his journey of ICI. He had served as 3 terms as the regional council member of ICI from the year 2004 to 2013 and been the chairman of WIRC in the year 12 to 13. He has been the secretary chair and also the treasurer of WIRC. He is holding various positions in other organizations like director in Indian Institute of Insolvency Professionals of ICAI, founder convener of Borivali Central CP Study Circle. He is also the founder member of Borivali Kandivali CP Study Circle, life member of BCS and Chamber of Tax Consultants, patron member at various organizations like RBG, Alumni of Mumbai, and Shri Aditya Vikram Birla Memorial Vyapar Sahyog Kendra. He is the charter president of Lions Club of Mumbai and life member of Uttan Vanaushadhi and many more social organizations. With these words, Durgesh sir, here I welcome you. The dais is all yours. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dipti. I think you have spoken a lot of things about me today, and also thanks to Nilesh Bhai, who also had said something about me. Many things I would say, and more focused on AQMM, which was done by me along with his support, because he was also part of the 17 people core team members who developed this audit quality maturity model, and from day one he was involved into it. So when we're talking about the subject, that what all small and medium practitioners should take care when they are doing the audits, this is the subject today, and technically it will be dealt by Yagnesh Bhai, and I'm sure he is a person who can fantastically deal the subject which is related to audit and accounting standard or Ind AS. And he has done fantastically well. He has always been available to the ICAI whenever we have requested him to be with us at the ICAI or WARC. So, the initiative, Dipti, which you have taken, this sharing of knowledge through your GyaanStation channel, I think that's fantastic, where you are saying that Gyanam Param Balam, and that's a fact. Knowledge is the best thing if you have the knowledge, you can do wonders. But sometimes I feel that the wisdom prevails over the knowledge. So more knowledge also sometimes become difficult. But in today's world, knowledge has to be there. If you are not expert of the domain, probably you will not survive in the competitive market. May it be a profession, may it be a business or so. As far as the quality is concerned of the audit, let me tell you that there are various uh, agencies as well as committees which are involved into it. And as rightly said, that we chartered accountant need to focus on the quality of the audit and assurance services provided by us. The reason being, NFRA is behind the chartered accountants. Other regulators are behind the chartered accountants. And one good thing I would like to tell that when the day before yesterday, we had a conference at Sahara where we have invited Minister Sri Mangal Prabhatji Loda. He has said fantastically that lawyers are being protected, the politicians are being protected. I think the chartered accountants need more protections as compared to the investor protections. The reason being, if anybody comes after 20 years of Hindenburg case or some other case, then how it will be possible to save the skin of a chartered accountant? So the protection for chartered accountant is needed, and at least we could hear it from the minister, cabinet minister of Maharashtra government, Mangal Prabhatji Loda. And that is already being tweeted, and probably that will help us. And the message will go to the central government. Yes, the care has to be taken. We are the watchdog, and the expectation of bloodhound from us is not the proper expectations of the regulate of the government and other stakeholders. But anyway, that's the thing which we are also thinking. That's the thing which the minister has also said. But beside NAFRA, at the institute also, we have FRRB, Financial Reporting Review Board, and where we have come out with the publications after going through the various financial statement, that what kind of common mistakes are there. And common mistakes which are related to the Schedule 3, common mistakes which are related to the CARO, common mistakes which are related to in the AS and accounting standards. These publications are available. The only important thing for all the chartered accountants who are into the assurance and audit services, they need to take care that they go through all these small non-compliances which has taken place and comply with all those things in the financial statements which they are preparing, they are signing. I think that will improve the financial statements, and probably the trust of the stakeholders will increase more. Likewise, there is a QRB also, Quality Review Board, of which I am member since last 6 years. And let me tell you, friends, the role of NFRA is for listed entities to review the financial statement as well as see the audit documentation procedures at the auditor's place. Likewise, the QRB is now doing, it was earlier the role of QRB, which was looking after the listed entity as well as unlisted entity. Now, QRB is only looking after the unlisted entities or private limited companies. And there also we find that in 90% of the cases, some or other kind of non-compliances are there, which may need the advisory. And wherever advisories are issued, there are negative points at the CAG level also, but which are correctable, doesn't have the material impact, but there are still 10% cases which are having the material impact on the financial statement, and that has gone to the disciplinary. So if the small and medium practitioners thinks that there are no chances that they will be spared from these kind of things, but the time has changed. The authorities are with QRB, which is under Ministry of Corporate Affairs, and reviewing the financial statements of smaller and medium companies where 60% members are from the government side and 40% members are from the chartered accountancy profession side. So the presence of the government is more into it, where they see, and that also from SEBI, from RBI, from IREDA, from MCA, from all these kind of authorities, they are there. So this is making a lot of difference, and we need to understand in most of the cases, the mistakes which has been taken place or non-compliances which have been taken place by the chartered accountants or done by the chartered accountants are SQC1, which is a mother standard on quality control, SQC1, and it is going to be converted in SQM 1 and 2. So it will soon be there. But now SQC1 is basically a mother standard, as I was telling, that speaks about all the procedures which you are going to follow in your firm for the purpose of conduct of the audit. So I think SQM 1 and 2. So it has started resounding my own voice. I'm sure that we need to give more focus on SQC1. We have to see that all the compliances are being done. And when those compliances are being done, I think this will probably, you will have a proper documentation, you will have the proper audit evidence recorded, and will conduct the audit. Audit planning is also required to be done in a systematic manner. And the written representations, 580, 505 compliances, outside confirmations, that is most important, where the maximum kind of non-compliances are there in these kind of standards which are there. And I'm sure, friends, in time to come, if we do not focus, we do not take the assurance services, audit services seriously, probably this is going to create problem to all of us. The various publications which have been brought down by the ICAI, I think those will always help. I was the convener of one of the publications which is very important with respect to the checklist for small and medium practitioners for small and medium enterprise audit. I think that is a wonderful publication one can go through. Now, very recently, last year, we had come out with 2 more publications where the templates are available and the checklists are available with respect to the compliance of the auditing standards. I think if everybody go through these compliances, these templates and these standards checklists, I think probably there will be less non-compliances. So one need to be very careful, and it is rightly said, audit is serious business. If you are not serious about audit, please leave the audit. And I'm sure that we, chartered accountants, our presence is because of audit. Our presence is because of the Companies Act. We'll have more focus on Companies Act regulations and the audit services and assurance services. And I'm sure that the profession for which we are known, we will be serving in a better positions, and we will see that the name of our profession continues remain high and our professional flag always fly high. That's what is my expectations, and I wish that everybody will work in this particular directions. We are today the single largest accounting and auditing body, and tomorrow also will be leading, because we have done so many activities in past where now we have become leaders as compared to the other international organizations which are related to accounting and auditing. But in time to come, India will lead this audit and accounting profession. I wish you a fantastic learning where Yagnesh Bhai will be taking out the session, and I'm sure the way he explains, everybody will get benefit of it. And once again, thanks to Dipti for inviting me to address all the members present over here, and a special thanks to Nilesh Bhai, who is basically my mentor, I would say. We know each other since our articles day, but he has reached to a particular height. I am on the way, following the legacy of his. So probably I'm at any point of time, I'm getting, whenever I'm approaching him, I'm getting the guidance from Nilesh Bhai. He is always ready to guide me, and I see that I don't commit any mistake at the council when I'm performing at the council. With this, thank you very much. Thanks to all, and wish you all fantastic learning.
Thank you. Thank you. And really very nice, Durgesh Bhai, sharing all the initiatives which were taken under your leadership, and very, very, very useful for all the members. It's the need of the hour. Ki as an auditor, we need to have all these protections. And of course, there should be some CA Protection Act kind of thing should be initiated to because it's everything is not in our hand. We do to the best of our knowledge, and that thing should be considered by the government also. So thank you for your
Dipti, just to add, when you had talked
yes,
about the CA Protection Act, we
yes,
had a group and we have finalized everything. We have sent it to the Ministry of Home Affairs. They
okay.
have issued certain guidelines that before taking any action against the chartered accountant, please see that these things, please take care of seeing all these things, and then take the action against the chartered accountant. So if you have noticed that 3 years back, whatever actions were taken, comparatively actions has come down, but still we wish that there needs a protections to a chartered accountant, and the repo which we tried to build up with the regulatory authorities as well as to the government, probably they will understand, and the way the lawyers are being protected in time to come, probably we will also get a chance that our profession is also being protected. The ICI Council is doing its best with respect to this. Let's hope it sees the light of the day.
Yes, thank you, sir, for sharing this update, because it's the need of our, because whatever we do as a human, error is very natural, and we do it to the best of our knowledge, and whatever documents, evidence are provided to us. So very nice initiative. It's very much needed. And thank you for being here with us. And now I here take the privilege to introduce our today's speaker. We all are waiting to hear Yagnesh Bhai. So Yagnesh Bhai is, along with Chartered Accountant, he is also CPA USA and has wide knowledge of audit of corporate and taxation matters, actively associated with activities of the Institute of Chartered Accountants. He has been IFRS trainer for certification course of Indays conducted by the ICAI, and also trainer for diploma in IFRS examinations conducted by ACCA of UK. He had composed and delivered e-lectures for accounting standard for the Institute of Chartered Accountants, as well as he is a speaker on accounting auditing standards at various seminars of the ICAI. He had also delivered motivational speeches at various national conventions and student conferences, and between 2009 till date delivered 1,793 sessions, a very remarkable and commendable number, and seminars in about 40 cities in India and abroad. He has been the special invitee of the Accounting Standard Board of ICAI and has been awarded as Icon in the year 2021 of Mumbai City by Times Group. His hobby is comparing music shows and taken part in marathons. And he had recently completed sustainability report course and passed the exams. With these words, here I welcome you, Yagnesh sir. The dais is all yours. Over to you. So you are on mute, please.
Okay now. Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
So thank you, Devio Sajano, and thank you, Dipti, so much for inviting me on this platform, more so with two gentlemen whom I hold in a high esteem, A. Nilesh Bhai, and B. Durgesh ji. Nilesh Bhai has been a great support to me. And whenever in past I used to ask him, sir, ye chota problem hai, Yagnesh Bhai, just allow me 5 minutes, I'll come back to you. And he will give me the answer. दुविधा मुझे भी होती है सर, confusion मुझे भी होता है. I'm not a perfect man like Raymond's. And Nilesh ji, sir, I used to always call you a towering personality of ICI. And जो वाकई में आप है, correct sir. Thank you very much. And Durgesh ji, thank you so much. आपके सानिध्य में मुझे ये मौका मिला है to dwell upon the mistakes on this. And what a coincidence, Durgesh ji. What a coincidence. You have published under, you in the sense, during your regime as a chairman or as a convener, and आज I am going to dwell on your topics only. क्षमा कीजिएगा Durgesh ji, I have taken some of the excerpts and some of the sentences and some of the things from your these publications by ICI. To mention one of them is audit quality material model, and I must tell you all the listeners that India is the only country, the first country to develop this. Am I right, Durgesh ji? अगर कुछ गलती है तो please correct me, please. Hello, Durgesh ji.
Yes, sir. AQMM is developed by ICAI, the only accounting body who has developed first time in the world.
First time. ये बहुत credible thing है. Then I think as a convener of some publishers like the audit checklist, and believe me, sir, this has become a Gita in our office. Durgesh ji, is a mandate in my office that unless I say this document on your screen, I am going to sit with you and solve your problems. And by the time they see, half of the problems are being solved by these publications. And I think as a FRRB chairman also, you publish so many things. And that is the FRRB has published some publications covering the errors, common errors found from the perspective of the covering CARO, covering Schedule 3 to the Companies Act, and also the Ind AS. And many of my colleagues, my friends, and my office staff have been benefited a lot about that. Chanakya has told that if you learn from mistake, and that to your mistake, you may perhaps need 1,000 years. And why do we wait for you to make mistake? You can always learn from other people's mistake. And that's what ICI publications have brought to all of us, that yes, they've pointed out some common errors. So one thing is sure about the common errors, that nobody makes mistake deliberately. किसी को शौक नहीं है mistake करने का, but हो जाती है. So I always, in a lighter way, say, don't worry, friends, galti se mistake ho jati hai. That's fine. But friends, your Durgesh ji, your publications, I sorry to keep on saying your, but I see publications during your regime has really helped us immensely. And my friends, good evening to all of you once again. My today's presentation is based on these publications. And I would prevail upon you, please do read this volcano of knowledge which Institute has given to you. I'm a CPA from United States of America, but if I have to take one copy of the standard, I have to shell out nothing less than $50. Can you imagine? $1, $50 for one standard. How much are we paying for these guidance notes? How much are we paying for the handbooks? How much we are paying for this all kind of the publications which have been published by ICI? They come free of charge. And perhaps that's why there is no value to it. Okay. So without doing too much of a dichotomy and all this and taking time, Dipti ji, namaskar, please मुझे authority दीजिए share करने की मेरी PPTs.
Yes, sir.
Do I have?
Yeah.
Host, disable the
Yes.
participant
Yes.
screen.
Yes, sir. You can.
I can.
Yes, sir. Please.
Thank you. So, Durgesh ji, हमने copyright लिया है कुछ आपसे, है ना? So please क्षमा कीजिएगा, but I have taken.
Sir, it is not my sir. All is yours and all is all members. We have developed all this for the members only under the banner of ICAI, and and the friends like you were also the contributor to these kind of publications.
दीप्ति जी, आपने एक बयान किया कि 1700 plus lectures, and for this I'm highly indebted to ICI, all the past and present presidents, chairmen, and the of various bodies जिन्होंने मुझे ये platform दिया, and they allow me a platform to hone my skill. Now coming back to today's topic, sir, precautions to be taken by the small and the medium. दीप्ति जी, ये कुछ black spot तो नहीं आ रहे ना कहाँ पे?
Yes, sir, it's coming. I was about
I think I must remove. Okay, fine. Now?
Yes, sir. A little bit on the logo side. Yeah.
Abhi?
Yeah, fine. Now it's fine. Yes, sir.
Now it's fine? All right, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I must tell you in the first place that this so-called intellectual rights or this presentation is going to be shared through to all of you through the medium of the through the GyaanStation. So please rest assured. And uske baad bhi, whenever you have anything, I am always there. Dipti ji, ye kyun aage nahi badh raha hai? Computer ji, please. Why it's not moving?
Sir, refresh करिए ना एक बार. refresh करिए ना.
ये क्यों स्थित प्रज्ञ हो गया? New share. Damn it. उसको pause करके करूं again. Damn it.
सर स्क्रीन शेयरिंग स्टॉप करके वापस ले लो.
स्टॉप करके वापस ले लो सर. यहाँ भी गाइडेंस नोट देते क्या सर? स्क्रीन ओके. So embarrassed. Share. Oh my God.
So try moving the screen using the arrows. Slideshow. Yeah, it's moving. Yeah.
Moving. Fine. So friends, the scope of this presentation is basically from the perspective of the non-Ind AS entities, private companies which do not follow the Ind AS. And most specifically, the accounting standard in section 133 pursuant to the company's accounting standard rules 21. ये मेरा पहला आपको सुझाव है. In your account, in the notes to accounts, you simply sometime mention that accounting standards issued pursuant to under section 133 of the Companies Act, but go one step further and do mention that companies accounting rules, I would say rule 3 of the companies accounting rules 21. Because section 133 has notified two standards: AS, which is applicable to the non-Ind AS companies, and B, which is applicable to the Ind AS companies. So be very specific about that, sir. So these are the abbreviations. Now, why errors occurs? किसी को shock नहीं होता errors करने के लिए, right? No one makes the errors knowingly. And errors are so inevitable and inherent that there are standards meant for the rectification of an errors. Let's not go into that. But problem मैं समझता हूँ कि small and medium size CA firms के लिए that the clients भी छोटे रहते हैं, जैसे कि वो firm छोटी रहती है, and the clients give them the data at a fag. So when the chartered accountants, all my brothers asked the client the question, sir, आपके accounts कब ready होंगे हम देंगे? तो they become rhetoric, means प्रश्न का उत्तर प्रश्न से देते. अरे साहब बताए ना last date कभी है. They always wait for the last date. And when we say 30th September, they said, okay, fine, by 15th, I'll make sure that you get the data. And what data they give? They dump the tally. And when we find the errors, they say, साहब आप अपने हिसाब से कर दीजिए. Correct, sir? These are the problems and predicament of the small and medium firms. Challenges are many. Many complications, many compliances, many deadlines, many amendments. Amendments इतनी भारी संख्या में है कि GST, Companies Act, ये वो, they keep on changing. उसका track रखना बहुत ही मुश्किल हो जाता है. So I am with you, my dear friends, all my friends, ये कि That is true that you don't mistake deliberately, mistake galti se ho jati hai. That's fine, but can we use this as an excuse? Can we use this as a protection? Can we use this as a shield when any action is being taken against us? No. Despite having plethora of the, then this is not an excuse that we can always use that sahab client ne 15 तारीख को दिया था 20 तारीख को दिया था, we are running short of time. And one more problem normally the other companies, the small and medium practitioners face is the job turnover of the technically sound personnels. ये बहुत बड़ी समस्या है. I was there last week to Goa. He says, sir, we face a lot of problem, and it's always there. Why Goa? I would say even in Bombay also. So now, so the point is that we cannot use this as an excuse. So how to avoid that? How to combat this? Get yourself ready. Train your staff. I have seen that we made a list. We made this as a rule in my office, that when you do account of a private limited company, when you're finalizing the books of accounts of a private limited company, you must have at least these documents on your screen. Aapki window minimize honi chahiye. A, guidance note issued by ICI on Division 1, Schedule 3 to the Companies Act. Depreciation ka schedule bhi rakhe apne samne. And if CARO is applicable, please do have the CARO guidance note before you, sir. I tell you, friends, my dear friends, many of your problems will be solved. Because there is always a confusion, no denying about it. Because the jo accountant rehte, jo article clerk rehte, they sometimes don't know, they're confused. So develop a habit, inculcate a habit. उनको एक ही चीज बताए कि यही हमारी गीता और यही हमारे, these are the epics, and you have to depend on that only. Don't think from your perspective. एक दो चीजें बहुत खतरनाक है लफ्ज, which I'm very much afraid, and that is, one is मेरे हिसाब से कर दूंगा, I thought so. These are dangerous phrases. So tell them not to apply your wisdom. Please go by the bright line or the guidance given by the ICA. I was referring to Durgesh, if you're there, I was referring to the FRRB, comparison, company of the, the mistakes in the financial reporting. A companion on the mistake in the financial reporting, sir. I must tell you honestly, candidly, to all my friends, that despite this being my 41st year in the practice, I do refer to such documents. And I try to learn my own mistakes. I try to avoid mistakes. As I told you, no one is a complete man. And not even me also. Correct? मैं आपके सामने एक, बतौर फैकल्टी, दीप्ति बेन ने जो मुझे मौका दिया है, थैंक यू सो मच दीप्ति बेन वंस अगेन. आपने भी हमारी सीए इंस्टीट्यूट, हमारे सीए प्रोफेशन की काफी बहुत बड़ी सेवा की. गॉड ब्लेस यू दीप्ति. एंड आपने जो मुझे मौका दिया है बतौर फैकल्टी, मैं आपके सामने पेश करता हूँ. दैट डजंट मीन कि आई एम अ कंप्लीट मैन. मेरी भी मिस्टेक्स हो सकती है, बट व्हाट वी ट्राई टू डू, आवर एंडेवर इज टू try and reduce the mistakes as much as possible. We have one Masiha, and that is Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Sir, the kind of support we get from ICI, many webinars, many seminars, many e-lectures and all this, plethora of knowledge. I would say volcano of knowledge. मगर problem है कि हमें use नहीं कर पाते उनका, इस्तेमाल नहीं कर पाते. Friends, my dear friends, do take the benefit of the publications issued by the ICI. I have been fortunate enough, and I'm grateful to repeat and reiterate, the past and present presidents of ICI, chairmen and vice chairmen of various committees, and more so the Accounting Standard Committee in AASP, that they have given me a chance to be a part of the ICI activities. Sab, ek publication jo hoti hai, guidance note on whether it is a CARO or whether it is in the application of the Division 1, Schedule 3 to the Companies Act, jo bhi kuch hai, it takes a lot of time. There are many well-learned chartered accountants, brothers, senior brothers who are there to help come out with these documents. उनके ज्ञान का निचोड़ इन publications में रहता है. Why don't you read it? Why don't you make your people read it, right? And as I told you, कि mistake हो जाती है, that's fine, but and then now a lot of now people are talking about the chat GPT, AI and all kind of thing. So our task has become very easy now. In 1983, when I started my practice, things were all manual. लाले पड़ जाते थे सर रिटर्न भरने के लिए, पूरी थप्पा होता था, and it was very difficult. But now things are not there. Any confusion you have, you simply say Google karo, and then just don't blindly follow the Google or the chat GPT. Do apply your mind and do apply your wisdom as well. But the point is that there are resources which can help you a lot. Now, where do we make the mistakes? The areas which are prone to mistakes are disclosures. नीलेश जी ने बहुत अहम बात कही that the small and medium जो equation उन्होंने कहा कि भाई big four firms they devote more time about say 90% on documentation and about 10% on the actual substantive written on this, जो बिल्कुल विपरीत है स्मॉल एंड मीडियम प्राइस एंटरप्राइज के लिए. वहां 10% होते हैं डॉक्यूमेंटेशन के लिए एंड 90% होते हैं वाउचिंग. कैसे कैसे क्वेरीज आती थी सब. इसमें रेवेन्यू स्टैंप नहीं लगाया सर. अरे इसको कुछ क्वेरी बोलते हैं क्या सर, है ना सर. एक बात है, जात मरे बिना स्वर्ग नहीं. कितने भी सक्षम आपके ऑफिस में है, बट अल्टीमेटली इवन यू हैव टू डिवोट सम टाइम एंड सी टू इट. I again repeat and reiterate, I don't undermine your staff members, your partners, your assistants, your team, but mistakes उनसे भी हो सकती है सर, correct? But you still have to check something. Have 1 or 2 persons in your office who can do just only the QR, quality checking, QC, quality checking के लिए रखो. And sir ने बताया कि SQC1, दुर्गेश जी ने बताया, is a very important document and we have been benefited a lot by this document. So today, chartered accountant has become like a bahubali. पूरा बोझ लेके बैठा है बेचारा. अब आरबीआई उस पे बैठी, यहाँ पे सेबी बैठे हैं, नफरा है, एमसीए, ऑडिट क्वालिटी रिव्यू, क्यूआरबी, एफआरबी, इनकम टैक्स, सब लोग पीछे पड़े. सर हमें आपको सुरक्षित रखना है, संभालना है. We'll help you, only you. All right. Now, let us make the best use of the audit, you call it audit quality maturity model, audit checklist. Sir, checklist में बहुत अच्छी बात है. Sir, I have seen, I must say, thanks to Durgesh ji and the team of ASB and the staff members, including Megha, we've been working a lot. And why in A accounting and accounting standard boards, Parminder Kaurji, they are working day and night to help us, sir. And anytime you call them, they are always there with an answer. So audit checklists, what they have thought of, they've given in the PDF and as well as in the Excel file. कितनी बड़ी सोच है ICA की. They really want to help the members wholeheartedly. So they say, why don't you? Why indulge into this converting into PDF from a PDF to Excel? Although we are giving you on a platter. Sir, बहुत से documents है जो ITI ICA free of charge देती है. Like everything starts with an engagement letter. Answer my one question, and please answer this question to you only. How many of us are having the engagement letter? How many of us are having the representation letter? How many of us have been getting the external confirmations? One thing Nilesh said very well, and that's about standards on auditing. My dear friends, standards on auditing is one of the most neglected sibling of accounting literature. Mostly people focus on the accounting standards, but not on the standards on auditing. Friends, we have to focus on that. We have to implement that. We have to apply those things. As I told you that I'm not a complete man, and sometimes even I go to the some of the big firms for their reviews, for their opinions. So when we go to such big four firms or Indian big companies like of the caliber of KKC or other companies, there is one thing in the culture, sir. Even if they are doing accounting standards, auditing practices day in and day out, they don't take themselves for granted. They don't take their knowledge for granted. I have seen that they're sitting, the senior partner sitting with me with 2 copies of accounting standards, one for him, one for me, one auditing standard, one for him, one for me. He said, let's read now it. And then I realized that this is a very healthy practice. Sir, sir, my dear friends, मैं भी आप में से ही एक हूं. I'm also facing the same problems. We also face the same problem. But sir, राजकुमार साहब की मुझे एक पंक्ति याद आती है, जीना यहाँ मरना यहाँ इसके सिवा जाना कहाँ. दोस्तों, एक्सक्यूजेस मुझे भी मन होता है ढूंढने के लिए, but that's not going to help us, that's not going to help me. Okay, now so make the best of all these things. Now there are many common areas where we make, sir, these are the disclosures, these are the various areas of disclosure we need to make. Now I'll give you a small simple example that मुझे किसी ने बहुत अहम प्रश्न पूछा, यज्ञेश भाई आप मुझे एक बात बताएं कि मेरी कंपनी का फॉरेन एक्सचेंज से कोई नाम सूतक नहीं है. I have never imported anything, exported anything during last 10 years since the inception of my company. Am I supposed to mention the accounting policy for the foreign exchange? Answer is no. If you read the AS1, or for that matter, even in AS1, it says very clearly that you have to cover the policies. You have to give the policies, accounting policies, only for those items which are covered in the financial statements. सर नाम में क्या रखा है, बहुत लोग कहते हैं, बट नाम में बहुत कुछ है, नोमेनक्लेचर में बहुत कुछ है, टाइटल ऑफ हेड्स में बहुत कुछ है, टाइटल ऑफ लाइन हेड्स में बहुत कुछ है. आप बोलेंगे उदाहरण दीजिए यज्ञेश भाई. हियर इज एन एग्जांपल. द टेक्निकल वर्ड फॉर द इंटरेस्ट व्हिच इज कैपिटलाइज्ड फॉर अ क्वालिफाइंग एसेट्स इज बोरोइंग कॉस्ट, इज नॉट finance cost, it's not interest, but still we use the borrowing cost. दोस्तों मेरे एक हॉबी है, एंड कई बार हम दोस्तों के साथ बैठते हैं and we come across certain disclosures made by the in some of the audit reports. तो हम देखते हैं सर when it comes to the property plant equipment, mind you well, अब तो आप जान चुके होंगे कि हमें fixed assets is an oblivion, एक भूतकाल बन गया है fixed assets. We are not supposed to use this word in phrases, fixed assets. We must read, you must read the phraseology, property, plant, and equipment. They do mention that borrowing cost, if eligible or if required, is capitalized. But in the same note, in the same accounting policy statement, they forget to mention accounting policies for the property, for the borrowing cost. So these are the things which one should avoid. Then notes on contingent liabilities कई जगह पे मिसिंग है. अरे सर दूसरी बात बताऊं आपको, बहुत अहम चीज है. You know the Division 1 Schedule 3 to the companies has been revised at least about 2 years back, maybe 3 years, I'm not too sure. Caro 2020 का नया संस्करण भी आया है, and the guidance note for the Caro 2020 has been revised. And thanks to Durgesh, FRRB, Auditing and Assurance, AASB board has revised the guidance note on the Caro 2020. And ये संस्करण हुआ था published in 2022. Sir, I'm grateful to you that you invited me for that panel and, allow me to study, comprehend, and make some minor suggestions. Thank you so much. So when we come to Caro and Division 1, Schedule 3 to the Companies Act, there are at least 10 items in Caro and Division 1, Schedule 3 to the Companies Act. There's something called additional regulatory information. 10 items common. A, Caro. B, Division 1, Schedule 3 to the Companies Act. Sir, आप कहेंगे सर कौन सी बड़ी बात कह डाली आपने, ये तो हम भी जानते हैं. नया क्या किया आपने? नया ये कहना चाहता हूं सर, इन दोनों का संकलन कीजिए. Because you may have mentioned something in your Caro and you may have made something different. You may have mentioned something different in the additional regulatory informations. So be very careful about it. सर एक बहुत बड़ा स्टैंडर्ड है, and वो है रिलेटेड पार्टी डिस्क्लोजर। बहुत से मेरे मित्र सीए को या उनके स्टाफ को या उनके असिस्टेंट को एक गलत फहमी है कि हमारी तो स्मॉल कंपनी है सर, हमको रिलेटेड पार्टी डिस्क्लोजर इस एप्लीकेबल नहीं होता है। बिल्कुल होता है सर, बाकायदा होता है। इवन इफ योर कंपनी इज एसएमसी, स्मॉल एंड मीडियम साइज्ड कंपनी, रिलेटेड पार्टी का कोई भी एग्जेम्पशन नहीं है सर, इवन 1% कंपनी को भी नहीं है। स्मॉल कंपनी की बात तो छोड़िए, सेक्शन 8 कंपनी को भी नहीं है। दिस इज वन एरिया वेयर पीपल नॉर्मली मिस्टेक व्हाट सर। सर एक बार बताऊं सर, इवन आई रियलाइज एंड आई एम बीइंग वेरी कैंडिड दैट द मोर आई रीड, द मोर आई गेट द पर्सपेक्टिव। कई बार तो मुझे लगता है कि अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड एक महाभारत का ग्रंथ है। जी हाँ, जितनी भी बार मैं पढ़ता हूं नया पर्सपेक्टिव मिलता है। एंड तब मैं सोचता हूँ वाईएमडी लास्ट ईयर आपका डिसीजन कुछ और था, इंटरप्रिटेशन कुछ और था, कंक्लूजन कुछ और था। सर मैं खुद के लिए आई एम बीइंग क्रिटिकल अबाउट इट बिकॉज इट हैपेंस टू एवरीबडी, नॉट जस्ट टू मी एंड नॉट जस्ट टू यू एज वेल। सो बी केयरफुल अबाउट दिस थिंग, रिलेटेड पार्टी डिस्क्लोजर। सर क्या चाहते हैं सर, ये इतना इतना अच्छा स्टैंडर्ड है सर कि उसमें ना तो आपको रिकग्निशन करना है, ना तो आपको मेजरमेंट करना है, ना तो आपको प्रेजेंटेशन करना है। करना है तो केवल डिस्क्लोजर करना है। And we know disclosure means what is not presented on the primary financial statements, A balance sheet, B income statement, cash flow statement, उसके अंदर जो नोट लिखी जाती, एंड उसमें भी क्या करना है सर आपको, कुछ मत करो, स्टैंडर्ड लीजिए, बहुत ही छोटा स्टैंडर्ड है। डिफाइन, देयर आर ओनली 3 पहलू है रिलेटेड पार्टी ट्रांजेक्शंस की। वन इज यू नीड टू डिस्क्लोज द रिलेशनशिप। जी हाँ, which is your subsidiary, which is your associate। वो छोटे कंपनी में तो शेयर नहीं होते, बट वो आर द डायरेक्टर्स ऑफ द कंपनी, वो आर द फैमिली मेंबर्स ऑफ द रिलेटेड पार्टीज। करेक्ट, एक हो गया भाग रिलेटेड पार्टीज का डिस्क्लोजर, रिलेशनशिप। सेकंड पार्ट इज ट्रांजैक्शंस विद देम। कोई बड़ी बात नहीं, you might have made purchases, sales, commission given, rent given, interest given, loan given। अब कौन से ट्रांजेक्शन आप पूछेंगे सर, स्टैंडर्ड ने उनका एग्जांपल्स भी दिए हैं, that which are the standards, which are the areas where you need to make the disclosures, what are the areas for which you need to make the disclosure। और उसको बनाना है आपको मैट्रिक्स टेबल में कि सब्सिडरीज के साथ इतनी परचेज है, एसोसिएट के साथ इतना है, डायरेक्टर्स के साथ इतना है, डायरेक्टर्स की फैमिली के साथ इतना है, केएमपी के साथ इतना है। केवल डेटा माइनिंग कीजिए, दैट्स इट। एंड लास्ट, सबसे बड़ा आसान, closing balances of these parties। Dipti ji, can I request you to say something to me, and can I ask you some question? Will you be able to answer my question, please? Very simple है, आपकी मुझे एक permission चाहिए और कोई बात नहीं सर। Dipti ji, are you there? Hello, hello, all right। So areas in which different accounting policies could be।
Yes, sir.
हाँ जी, दीप्ति जी, आपसे केवल एक ही इजाजत चाहता हूँ कि rather than going by slide, I'll go by the spirit of what I have collated for all my CA brothers, ठीक है? And I may be skipping few of the slides and focus only on those which I think is very important। And दीप्ति जी, आपकी फरमाइश का मैं डेफिनेट पालन करूंगा, एंड वो है कि रिलेटेड पार्टी के लिए आपने मुझे बहुत 2 बार कहा है कि जगनेश भाई, रिलेटेड पार्टी का प्लीज आप बाकी सब भूल जाना, मगर हमारे रिलेटेड पार्टीज मत भूलना। बिल्कुल सही जनाब, मैडम, आई विल डू दैट, ठीक है? थैंक यू सो मच, बिकॉज आप आपके प्रेक्षक की, श्रोता की रगे जानते हैं, है ना? You want what they want। All right, so these are the areas we need to make। So now these are the 5 track accounting standards में सर आप ये SMC कंपनीज आई है, मैंने FT इसलिए मैं फास्ट ट्रैक में जल्दी से करूंगा। तो देखिए कि स्मॉल एंड मीडियम साइज कंपनी कब बनती है, देयर इज 2 years का मॉरेटोरियम है। नाउ एक मिनट, this is one thing which we normally miss out, and we need to mention the accounting standard also। Now this company is wherever you claim exemption, means your clients, your party do make disclosure to this extent, the companies are small and sir ये मैंने जो अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड जो रूल्स आए हैं कंपनीज अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड रूल्स 21 उसी में से एग्जांपल लिए सर दे हैव गिवन एग्जांपल्स आल्सो हमें ज्यादा कुछ नहीं करना है कंडीशंस अप्लाई क्या करना है पढ़ना है मुश्किल है मानता हूं मैं सर but do that and I'm sure many of you are much younger and younger youngsters and not a senior citizen like me who is running 66 now and sir आप सर एक बात बोलूं सर फ्रेंड्स मेरे डियर फ्रेंड्स मैं नई पीढ़ी से बहुत ही प्रभावित हूं दे आर टेक सेवीज एंड जो काम मैं 4 घंटे में करता हूं वो 15 मिनट में करके देते सर सो सैल्यूट टू यू द न्यू जनरेशन सीएस यू आर टेक सेवी एंड यूज दिस टेक सेवीनेस फॉर हेल्पिंग इन योर प्रोफेशन दिस नोट मस्ट बी इंक्लूडेड कंप्लायंसेस के लिए बहुत से सब एक मिसनोमर है कंफ्यूजन है कि ये स्टैंडर्ड नहीं अप्लाई होगा जैसे बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग कॉमन थिंग रिलेटेड पार्टी के लिए बहुत कंफ्यूजन है कि ये स्मॉल कंपनी को एप्लीकेबल नहीं होगा एंड सर ये लिमिट्स इतनी है ना सीमाएं और रेखाएं हमारी जिंदगी में इतनी है कि बात मत पूछिए ये क्रॉस करने के बाद इंटरनल ऑडिट लगेगा ये क्रॉस करने के बाद रोटेशन लगेगा हाँ जी सर रोटेशन से एक बहुत बड़ी चीज याद आ गई सर रोटेशन ऑफ ऑडिटर्स मेनी पीपल थिंक दैट इज नॉट एप्लीकेबल टू प्राइवेट कंपनीज जनाब इट्स इज एप्लीकेबल टू प्राइवेट कंपनीज बताऊंगा आपको ब्रेक के बाद there's one slide meant for that so the point is that you should compile the seed and see the make a table of the limits कितनी सीमाएं और रेखा है कंपनीज एक्ट में ये करने के बाद आपको विजिलेंस की विजाइल मैकेनिज्म है भी जिसके बाद आपको इंटरनल ऑडिट है इसके बाद आपका रोटेशन है उसके बाद आपका कॉस्ट ऑडिट है करेक्ट सर जी हाँ दोस्तों आई थिंक आई मेंशन वेरी क्विकली अबाउट इंटरनल ऑडिट उसके लिए भी एक स्लाइड है सिर्फ और सिर्फ आपके लिए सो रेफरेंस एपीसी में जो कॉमन है अकाउंटिंग पॉलिसी का नंबर नहीं दिया जाता सर ईपीसी का रेफरेंस नहीं दिया जाता तो क्रॉस कनेक्शन ऐसा सिंपल सी बात है कंपाइलेशन है ये एमएटी के लिए मैट के लिए भी बहुत नोट्स नहीं है इंटेंजिबल एसेट्स के लिए भी नोट्स मिसिंग है बोरोइंग कॉस्ट ऑफन नॉमेनक्लेटेड जिनका नाम दिया जाता है फाइनेंस कॉस्ट इंटरेस्ट कॉस्ट बिल्कुल गलत यूज द करेक्ट वर्ड बोरोइंग कॉस्ट देखिए ये इंटेंजिबल एसेट्स में एक कंपनी की सूरत बेस्ड कंपनी है उनसे मैंने लिया है इंटेंजिबल एसेट्स आर रिकॉग्नाइज्ड एंड अकाउंटेड एट कॉस्ट in accordance with the accounting standards 26 intangible assets issued by ICI सर ये प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनी से मैंने लिया था तो इट इज नॉट एप्लीकेबल हियर बिकॉज फॉर प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनीज द अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स आर नोटिफाइड अंडर सेक्शन 133 ऑफ द कंपनीज एक्ट मोर सो रेड विद rule 3 of the company's accounting rules 21 so no mention about the policies concerning expenses out of the expensing on the internally generated intangible assets during research stage. So research stage or development stage में बहुत बड़ी समस्या होती है. Many people have started recognizing the intangible assets. सर उनके भी कुछ और ही उद्देश्य होते हैं, उनकी भी और एक पर्सपेक्टिव होता है और ऑब्जेक्टिव होता है. ऑब्जेक्टिव ये है कि they want to reduce they want to increase the profit. They want to increase the profit, or maybe they want to reduce the losses. So rather than expensing out expenses on certain so-called intangible assets, they capitalize it. But capitalization of intangible assets is a little more rigorous. There are some 6 recognition criteria given. There are some 6 additional recognition criteria given in the standards for the recognition of the intangible asset. Be careful about that. Do document it. Sir, residual value, useful life and asset should be reviewed at each financial year. And ये बहुत सी private limited companies के notes में missing है. Depreciation method में SLM है या diminishing value method. No, don't use the word written down value. Use the correct technical word, diminishing value method. Now, there's a paradigm change in the AS10 also, that the method of depreciation is not considered as an accounting policy change. It is considered as an estimate and hence applied prospectively and not retrospectively. Very good change, but still some people are making changes retrospectively. Avoid that. This is missing. Please do mention about that. Okay, related party. दीप्ति जी, आपकी स्लाइड आ गई. आप खुश हैं अभी? हेलो. तो there is,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
there is
Wonderful.
exemption to any companies, चाहे वो small and medium company, small and medium size company हो, non SMC or या NSC हो, I mean non corporate entities हो. Only level 3 and 4 of the non corporate entities are claiming exemption, but here we are talking of the private companies only. Name of the related party, okay, computer G, what it say, irrespective of. Now let's read this together. Name of the related party and nature of the related party transactions and relationships where the control exists should be disclosed irrespective of whether or not there have been a transaction between the related parties. कहने का मतलब ये है कि अगर आपकी related party का transaction नहीं भी है, तो भी you have to still mention your director is controlling another country, your KMP of a company is controlling another company. And there is no transaction, there is no monetary transaction between these companies, between you and the other company, which is being controlled by the KMP of your company. Still, you have to mention the relationship. Managerial remuneration जो उनको तनख्वाह दी जाती है, वो भी कई बार मिस कर देते हैं. So this is one area. All right. Now I'll use some tips. As I told you, we are hounded not just by the accounting standards and auditing standards, but also the requirement of the Companies Act. But Companies Act कुछ मात्रा में हमें मदद करता है. For example, if you look at the forms NBP1, disclosure by directors, in which they have to disclose that they are related parties. MBP2 registered under Section 186 of 2023 concerning the guarantee loan security by the company, and MBP4 registered under Section 189. Friends, this all will help you to determine this all will help you determine the preparation of certain preparation of the related party disclosures. Friends, as I told you that I'm not a complete man like Raymond's. मुझे भी लोगों की सहायता की जरूरत है. I am also taking support from many of my colleagues, many of my business associates and business partners. And I must tell you one thing. मेरे सामने बैठे हैं प्रियंका जी. She is a company secretary having 15 years of experience. I must give the credit for these forms of all ROC disclosures. She has given to me. नमस्कार, आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. That sir, you have to take care of these forms, and this will help you to comply with AS 18, which is related with related party. So sir, MBP कुछ forms जो है वो हमें देखना ही है, and this will help us a lot. For example, when you take a loan, you need to give a security of certain assets. So CHG1 form will help you determine what kind of securities the company has offered. And my dear friends, do insist on the documents. Sir, documentation of बिल्कुल कतराइए मई मत. आप do collect and collate these documents. If the company has taken a loan, either term loan or CC, get the sanction letter. You'll find many things in the sanction letter, like securities offered, tenure, terms. Then you can find out if it is a term loan, then current, non-current. So current, non-current भी बहुत important है. ऑस्ट्रेलिया में एक कंपनी ने करंट नॉन करंट का डिस्क्लोजर ठीक से नहीं किया था सर. Directors had to pay huge penalties in Australian dollars. अच्छा, एक बात और भी बहुत अहम कही नीलेश भाई ने, that एन दुर्गेश ने भी कहा कि भाई आप ऐसा मत छूटे कि आप सोचिए कि आपकी कंपनी छोटी है, क्लाइंट छोटे हैं, उसके में कहां से आ सकता है सर. हमारे तो क्लाइंट की कंपनी बहुत ही छोटी है सर. छोटी मजली में कंपनी में अगर एमसी और जो सेबी और जो ईसी जब करेंगे तो फिर कहां जाएंगे. ऐसी बात नहीं सर. जैसे दुर्गेश जी ने भी कहा कि हमारे पास कुछ कंप्लेंट्स आती है, तो उसकी वजह से भी there are chances that ICI or even the court or even the MCA may delve deep into the matter, and ultimately sir, बलि का बकरा बनते हैं chartered accountancy. खून is the blood is thicker than water. वो तो डायरेक्टर्स पार्टनर्स आज झगड़ते हैं, कल एक भी हो जाएंगे, बट जो डैमेज आपको करके गिराएंगे आपकी करियर को, दैट विल बी डिवास्टेटिंग एंड इररिपेरेबल. सो डोंट बी अंडर इंप्रेशन प्लीज दैट हमारे क्लाइंट्स तो बहुत छोटे हैं, कहाँ वो पकड़े जाएंगे. नो चांसेस, very remote chances that they will be under the scanner. Please don't be under that impression. Okay, sir. So please be careful that even your company, your clients' documents could be picked up because of any other reasons. So this is one thing. Compliance with the contingent liability is often missing. Going concern ke liye, sir, you need not mention the going concern because there are three fundamental assumptions: GCA, going concern, consistency, and accrual. So these are fundamental. आप कहेंगे सर इसमें क्या फर्क पड़ता है सर, लिख दिया सर, द कंपनी इज फॉलोइंग द गोइंग कंसर्न. नहीं सर, वो आपकी कदर करेगा, आपका वैल्यूएशन वहीं से स्टार्ट होगा कि दिस गाय डजंट नो दैट जीसीए is a fundamental assumption. Sorry, the going concern is one of the fundamental assumption. Why do you mention it? Well, you have to mention when, and there is the company is not following going concern. In that case, the accounting has to be done on the liquidated basis, not on the accrual basis. So please don't mention these things. And sorry to say, let's not be overwise. ठीक है, जो लिखना है इतना ही लिखे, because जितना लिखेंगे उतनी गलती ज्यादा हो सकती है, संभावना ज्यादा है सर. Avoid writing too much. Write only to the extent it is required. So, और सर, अब मोस्टली ये प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनी जो होती है उनके एक गुण रहता है. The common feature is that they are laden with losses. They are laden with the losses. And कुछ इंडस्ट्री ऐसे है कि जहां लॉसेस इनएविटेबल है, होते ही है, चाहे वो क्रिकेट के लिए लीजिए या फुटबॉल के लिए लीजिए, देयर आर ह्यूज लॉसेस. तो लॉसेस तुमको होते ही है सर, and still they are accounting on the accrual basis. So sometimes you have to always be very clear about that and get some documentation from the directors, from the management, that just in case of the losses, they will provide, and they have been provided support to the company, unconditional support. And hence the company is writing, maintaining the books of accounts on the going concern basis. Because आपको justify करना है कि पूरी network wipe off हो गई है, फिर भी company is accounting on the going concern basis. Be careful, and this is very common. Analysis of ledgers, बिल्कुल कीजिए sir. Please ask your team to do that, because not doing the analysis of ledger is again a very big lapse. सर मैं जीएसटी का तो इतना माहिर नहीं हूं, बट फिर भी एक बार बताऊं कि 6 महीने के बाद या कुछ सितंबर के बाद अगर आप वो नेगेटिव क्रेडिट बैलेंस, क्रेडिटर्स, लेट्स टेक वन एग्जांपल कि you are taking the concern, you are scrutinizing the trade creditors, जिसे हम sundry creditors कहते थे, उसमें there is a positive balance, meaning you have made the payment but the bill is not booked unless it is in advance. ठीक है, वहां सेक्शन 373 of the companies भी आ सकता है. नहीं, that will be for the debtors. So there is a positive sign in a list of the trade creditors. That means your company has made a payment but not booked the bill. ये अगर जनवरी फरवरी मार्च में एडवांस है, that's fine, no issue about it. But if it is when you analyze and this is from the opening balance or from the beginning of the month, beginning of the April, then it's a matter of concern that maybe the bill is not booked. Okay, so it can create a huge problem, and maybe I think after some period, if you don't recognize, then you may lose the GST credit also. The same thing apply for the trade receivables also, because you may not have booked the sales, you may not have debited the debtors account, and you may receive the money. So whether it is a really advance or whether you missed out some sales. And if you've taken an advance, then be careful of section 73 and section 73 of the Companies Act, which deals with the deemed deposits. Sir, Caro 2020 में seemingly innocent sentence word add कर दिए, deemed deposits. बहुत ही खतरनाक है. When you read this definition of the deposit read with Rule 5 of the Companies Act, you realize if you receive an advance from a customer and not supply goods within 365 days with a grace of 15 days further, it is considered as a deemed deposit. केवल उनकी penalties देख लीजिए सर, होश उड़ जाएंगे आपके. So when in such cases, and let's not forget under section 143.3, I think clause E, we certify that company has complied with all the accounting standards, or no, company has complied with all the provisions of the Companies Act and also the accounting standards. So don't make mistake. Section 185, 186, section 73 of the Companies Act बहुत ही खतरनाक है. You be very, very clear about it. Section 188 also about the company, about the related parties. Areas, Caro Division 3, make sure to sync with them. Common audit procedures not followed. हो गया ये एक मिनट. Avoid negative figures. ये बहुत ही खतरनाक चीज है सर. You don't present or disclose numbers like this. The correct way computer G is like this. Data number 1 and data number 4 will be on one side, and data number 2 and 3 under the nomenclature advances from customers. ये बिल्कुल गलत है. In terms of accounting standards, I call it unwarranted offsetting of the accounting, these two entities. Avoid such errors. Advance given for the capital asset, even if the equipment is going to be received in the very next month, April, still advance given to the supplier of equipment is always to be classified as a non-current assets. Same thing goes with the deferred tax. Deferred tax का calculations भी बहुत कम लोग करते हैं. Deferred tax assets and deferred tax liabilities are always classified as a non-current assets or liabilities. Then compliance with contingent going concern. This is very very common. One should always insist on the external confirmation, which is not normally followed. Challenges about the AIS and TIS and all these links specified कारो की है. सर बहुत से क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं कि भाई there is a company, let's take example that a company's paid up capital reserves is not more than 1 crore. Fine, ये 80 लाख है. The borrowings, total borrowings is 2 crores. I repeat, 2 crores. Total revenue जो है, again it is not exceeding 10 crore rupees, but it is a small company under the Companies Act definitions of subsection 85 of section 2 of the Companies Act. So in that case, this is a small company under the by the definition of subsection 85 of section 2 of the Companies Act, but 1 crore से ज्यादा borrowing है, 2 crore रुपए हो गए. तो प्रश्न होता है कि should CARO be applicable to such company? Answer is no. I think it is clause 12 of the guidance note on the application of CARO that ICAI has clarified very clearly that if a company is a small company, then बाकी कुछ चीजें मायने नहीं रखती है, it is exempt, that's all. Even if item number 2, the borrowings is more than 1 crore rupees, it will still be considered as a company which is where CARO is not applicable. CSR के लिमिट में भी we have to be very careful about that. ये secretarial audit भी सर बहुत important matter है कि every company having an outstanding loan or borrowings from bank or financial institution of 100 crores rupees or more. So sir, this category covers the private companies also. Vigil mechanism, देखिए 50 crore, यहाँ तो 100 crore थे, यहाँ बिल्कुल कम कर दिया कंप्यूटर जी. So be careful of such limits. जैसे मैंने कहा कि हमारी जिंदगी में सीमाएं और रेखा भी यहाँ पे है, उसका भी ध्यान रखिए सर. इंटरनल ऑडिट, again our company in-house company secretary always alert us, sir, don't forget to have filed the MGT 14 because that is required to be filed not just for the special legislation but even for the certain board resolution also. So be careful sir. Internal audit का भी applicable होता है. Then cost audit, internal financial control, sir, this is very important. It is applicable to all companies, no exemption to any other company. केवल एक exemption है, and that is by virtue of the circular dated, notification dated 13 June 2017. It's not applicable to one company, private company, if turnover is less than 50 crores or the aggregate borrowing is less than 25 crores. Friends, I draw your attention to one document and see, आज तक हमने सुना है कि small companies, SMCs, small companies, but there is one new nomenclature and note down this: smaller companies. Smaller companies. In August 2016, ICI has come out with the guidance note on application of the IFC for the smaller companies. This definition does not talk of any limits, whether turnover or borrowing, but has defined very clearly, and this guidance note is there. So in some cases, you can always use these guidance notes for the IFC also. Audit rotation, sir. For unlisted or private company where the paid-up capital is less than the prescribed limit, which is given here, as mentioned above, but borrowing from the financial institutions, banks, and public deposit is more than 50 crore rupees or more, then it is applicable. Sir, यहाँ पे भी there was a lot of confusion whether it is applied retrospectively or prospectively. We have taken a call that it is applied retrospectively. That means आपके 5 साल पूरे हो गए with this condition, then you should quit from the company. Don't take chances. Deposits very important. Loans. हम लिखने को तो always तकिया कलम लिख देते कि this is complied with 185, 186, but be careful about this. Loans given, there are some exemption about the loans given to the subsidiary companies, wholly owned subsidiary companies and all this. So these are the documents you should keep with you. So they are not related to strict to the audits, but there's a guidance note issued by ICI. Reports on or certificates for special purpose revised in 2016. Refer to this document before you issue any certificate. Turnover, net worth certificate, balance sheet पे true copy थप्पा मार के मत दीजिए sir. Annual activity certificate, branch liaison office given by the FEMA. ये सब चीजों के लिए this guidance note has given the examples. Avoid these words and phrases. Okay, Dipti ji. Any questions, please let me know, Dipti ji. Hello.
Yes, sir.
नमस्कार जी हाँ आशीष जी बोल रहे क्या?
Yes, sir. I am here. Dipti is
Yes,
on.
sir. Actually, some technical thing is there. You please continue, Ashish ji.
Yeah, so I think if any of the participants have any questions, they can post in the Q&A box.
सर कुछ मैं चैट बॉक्स में देख रहा हूँ सर. Can you please share a sample of director's report and statutory audit report for financial year 23-24? सर वो है तो नहीं, but we'll try and do. दीदी जी एक थोड़ी 7-8 दिन की अवधि दीजिए सर. We'll definitely come out with that, and सिर्फ और सिर्फ आपके मित्र के लिए, आपके प्रेक्षक के लिए, आपके श्रोता के लिए हम दे देंगे.
जी सर, धन्यवाद.
Thank you जी.
Any other questions? Then please post it. We will be happy to address those questions. I will just check it out. Also, I also
Dipti ji, once again, I'm thankful to you for having invited, and you're doing a great job service for the profession.
yes.
And Durgesh ji and Nilesh ji, you set the tone of the session, and this has been, I think, I don't know how well I carried out, but I tried my best to carry out in the same spirit. Okay, friends.
Sir, there is one question, that where to show outstanding balances of credit cards.
Okay, they are definitely not sundry creditors, but they are the other creditors. Depending, and obviously credit card, you have to make payment in the very next month, right? So they should be classified as current liabilities, and definitely don't try and club it with these trade creditors or sundry creditors.
Right.
Other current liabilities.
So one more thing, sir, many times what happens is that there are some schemes or offers in the credit cards. So, directors or, maybe in a case of partnership firm, the partners have the credit card which they're exclusively using for the firm. And the card is in the name of the individual. So such liabilities also will need to be recorded in the company, because say if there is an electric bill of 10 lakhs and the credit, it has been paid through credit card, and because we get 40 days to make the payment, the company makes the payment on the 40th day.
I get your point, but basically, regardless of the mode of payment, the company has to at once recognize the liability, sir.
Yeah. So outstanding will have to be shown on
Absolutely.
credit card and
Outstanding have to be
not
shown.
to the electric company.
Yes, yes, yes. Very good question. हाँ? बहुत बेहतरीन प्रश्न है.
I would like to mention that Ashish ji was also rank holder in chartered accountancy.
क्या बात है आशीष जी, क्या बात, क्या बात.
He
चलिए
and his wife.
आज हमने आज आपने हमें एक मित्र भी दिया, वो है आशीष जी.
Thank you so
Ji.
much.
Can you
If
share his numbers, and I'd love to get.
Yeah, sure, sir. I'll share. He's an excellent person. And when I started with GyaanStation, this regular series, so he came like a backbone to me. And I have done 1 or 2 sessions. And after that, I got a chance and we just had a word. और फिर वो तब से जो कारवा चला है तो ये बढ़ता ही जा रहा है. Within 4 months, we are now 6 organizations working together for this series.
चलिए बहुत बहुत बधाई आपको, एंड ऑल द वेरी बेस्ट. ये कारवा और भी चलता रहे, एंड 6 का 16 हो जाए.
हाँ जी. एक और क्वेश्चन आया है सर.
I could see a glimpse of that question, but I could
Yeah,
not.
Ashish ji, can you take it or should I?
advance payment made by company to various vendor, if vendor not supplied goods and not even returning the money, what to do? To be taken as deposit under the head deposit?
देखिए साहब, when you had given money to the vendors, it is an asset. It is not a liability. Deposit comes into the play when you take money from from your customers.
So I think what they mean is that under the head loans and advances wala deposit may not apna liability wala deposit, but means the point, I think the query of the participant is that sundry creditors में से negative दिखाए हैं या मतलब minus करके net of sundry creditors दिखाएं या अलग तरीके से दिखाएं net of.
बिल्कुल गलत तरीका. मैंने एग्जाम्पल भी दिया था सर कि क्रेडिटर्स में देखिए एक है, क्रेडिटर्स की नेचुरली बैलेंस होगी क्रेडिट बैलेंस, तो 10 क्रेडिटर्स के बैलेंस से क्रेडिट 2 का है डेबिट बैलेंस, राइट? सो यू आर नेटिंग ऑफ. सर कहने के लिए नेटिंग ऑफ है, बट एक्चुअली व्हाट यू हैव डन, यू हैव ऑफसेटेड द क्रेडिट बैलेंस विद द डेबिट बैलेंस. क्या आपको अधिकार है ऑफसेट करने का सर? कहने के लिए क्या वो तो हमने लिखा सर, इसमें क्या बुरा सर, टोटल में कुछ नहीं फर्क है, बैलेंस शीट पे टैली होगी सर, कोई संदेह नहीं उसमें, बट द वे इट इज बीन प्रेजेंटेड इज बिल्कुल गलत तरीका.
One last question.
Advances given to the vendors should be presented on the asset side as current assets if it is given for the normal goods and purchases, goods and services. If it is given for the non-current assets, then it is to be classified under the non-current assets.
For proprietary firm, do we have to prepare financials as per guidance note on financial statements of non-corporate entities compulsory?
जो जनाब ने ये प्रश्न पूछा है, he is very much aware of the fact that proprietary concern is covered under the non-corporate entities, and depending on the classification for the non-corporate entities, there are 4 categories: level 1, 2, 3, and 4. जो कंपनी में केवल 3 है. So they have to follow the accounting standards given as per the level of an entity. Non-corporate entity, NCE.
Thank you so much, sir. I would request Joint Secretary of ITBA, Pratik Kaneria, to propose the vote of thanks for today's webinar.
Good evening, everyone. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all who were made on today's webinar. First and foremost, I would like to express our sincere thanks to Yagnesh sir, who has shared such valuable insight and practical knowledge. Sir, your expertise has shed light on the critical areas that the firms must focus on during audits, and your guidance will undoubtedly help many firms navigate the statutory responsibility with greater confidence and accuracy. A special thanks to the organizing team, Dipti ma'am, for their tireless efforts in ensuring that the event was executed seamlessly. Your dedication and attention to details have been crucial in bringing this together. I also wish to extend my appreciation to all the participants who joined today. Your active engagement has made this session truly interactive and informative. As we conclude today's webinar, I hope that the knowledge shared today will empower you to apply these precautions effectively in your respective firms, leading to smoother audit process and stronger financial health. Thank you once again, and we look forward to your continued participation in the future events. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. God bless you.
Thank you.